Brian Traichel. Just wanted to shoot a quick little video. I happened to be at a seminar and had the great opportunity to meet Miss Katie Wagner. And Katie's got a great story. You know, this is the great thing, like you get to sit next to a stranger. By the time you're done, you hear some wonderful stories. But I thought we'd do just a little interview with Katie Wagner and talk to her about you know, what she's very famous for doing, and give us some tips out there. But I think what happened in this conversation was we were talking yesterday, and I think you have that question is, tell me something that people wouldn't know about you. And it just so happens that I did ask that question, or it kind of came out in conversation, but I'm not going to do all the talking. I thought I'd say, so okay, that $1 million question, you mentioned something yesterday that I thought was quite an honor, and for me to talk to you about it today, I feel like it's special myself. So thanks.
That's sweet, that's sweet. Yeah. Thank you for chatting with me. So the thing that you don't know about me is that I've interviewed 4 U.S. presidents. People always say, which 4?
Right.
So it would be Bush, Clinton, and Obama.
And when she said it to me, I went home last night and I pretty much did the math too. I was trying to figure that out as well. So, but can you imagine when I heard that? Well, I had this flip camera. I said, well, geez, if she's interviewed 4 presidents, and having Brian Traichel in front of this camera would be a great opportunity. So I thought we would do that. But the funny thing is, you talk about the coffee table book on the coffee table. It's like just really about interviewing, and you have a great history, and you've had investigative reporter, and just tons of training on that. So as far as with social media, that's what you're doing now currently, right?
Yes, right.
Tell us about that.
So I now run a social media agency, and we're all former journalists who formed this agency together, and we basically cover businesses as if they were stories. The biggest problem with social media if you're a business is you don't know what to say or what kind of content to put out there.
Right.
So we teach business owners to sort of look at their business objectively. If you were going to share this story with potential clients, people in the community, what would you want out there?
Okay.
A lot of times people get caught up in being too self-promotional or just selling over social media. So we teach them to take a step back and be more objective about their offering. Sorry.
Oh no, that's great. No, I think so. Yeah, being more objective is great. And I know a lot of people, they hear about it all the time. Social media. But what does that really mean? Is this considered social media? Doing a quick interview, or what do you do? What do you say? I think that's the big question. So coming from a background in journalism and reporting and things like that, that's what we're doing. We're all here to tell our story. Whether it's a piece of news or an offering or what's happening and how we can serve you best. So I just wanted to say to the people out there who haven't heard of your services, what else? What can they do right now if they're not even in the social media game? Do you have any quick tips for them? Or?
Well, sure. The first one is get in the social media game because it's important.
Sure.
It's not going away and it's the future. One of the reasons I left television is because social media was changing the way television operated. And I don't know if you watched any coverage of the Japanese tsunami, but most of the video was off YouTube.
Oh, right.
Television crews aren't necessarily sending their own teams as much anymore because they can pull video from people who are actually there, and it's more effective. It's more authentic.
Right.
Yeah, and then we all watch the news shows where the anchor reads the Facebook message or the tweets, live during the show. So, social media has given people a chance to weigh in, and it's more immediate than they've ever had before. We can actually have a real-time conversation with, not only newsmakers, but business owners, with companies and brands that we follow. And so what I like to say is that if you're not part of the conversation going on, you're missing out because people are talking about you. They're talking about you with your friends in the coffee shop or online or sending emails. And if you're not participating in that conversation, you're missing a huge opportunity to learn about what people think about your business and how you can get in there and teach them more about whatever you're selling.
Right.
And so, Facebook, Twitter, there's all kinds of tools that you can use. But the most important one is just to be open to listening and to set up a forum for doing that, getting the customer feedback, because you can really learn a lot about how you're doing as a business.
That's true, yeah. There's many applications. My head's starting to spin right now.
Sure, it doesn't.
Talk, and in no way form am I an expert, but I'm always learning myself and learning, what to do. As far as finding you and learning about your services, are you obviously, I would imagine you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Those are the
I
top
should do that. Yeah, no, we have a Facebook page, absolutely.
Right.
It's Katie Wagner Social Media. So Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, find me, and I'd love to continue the conversation.
Well, thanks, Katie. I appreciate you having it. And again, if you're not on social media, now is the time, because we don't want you to miss out on the wave that's coming. So get involved, get in the conversation, and thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.